Welcome back to our National Trust Grand Tour. Today we are visiting Dyrham Park, which you'll find roughly 8 miles north of Bath in the southwest of England. With a distinct look of aristocratic splendour, Dyrham Park sits quietly in the rolling countryside, surrounded by 270 acres of ancient parkland and formal gardens. Today we're exploring its grand Baroque interiors, its Dutch influences, its colonial links, and the stories of the people who shaped it. Join us as we explore this incredible property and uncover some of the most intriguing objects that make Dyrham Park such a fascinating place to visit.
The estate at Dyrham Park appears in the Domesday Book, but the building we see today is largely the creation of William Blathwayt, a powerful statesman and skilled administrator. Blathwayt was no ordinary civil servant. He served as Secretary at War and held deep ties to colonial administration across the Atlantic. His career shaped the house. Dyrham became a physical expression of his status, wealth, and international reach. Between the late 1600s and early 1700s, Blathwayt transformed Dyrham into a Baroque mansion inspired by the Dutch court of King William III, also known as William of Orange. The result is a house that feels both English and distinctly European.
William Blathwayt and his wife Mary set about transforming Dyrham Park from an outdated Tudor property into a lavish Baroque country house in 1692, when construction on the west front was started. Due to his role in government, Blathwayt became extremely wealthy, with his income being the equivalent to millions of pounds today. Dyrham's exterior is classic late 17th century Baroque. Symmetry, strong horizontal lines, and a sense of controlled grandeur. It's a deliberate statement. Blathwayt wanted visitors to know they were entering the home of a man with influence.
The equally impressive east front was completed in 1704, around 12 years after Blathwayt began his grand remodelling. Anyone who's lived through a renovation project will likely relate to this somewhat lengthy timescale. However, the result was worth the wait. This is the glorious view that greets visitors today as they walk down from the car park. From this vantage point, the scale is striking. A perfectly symmetrical 13-bay Baroque facade, with the orangery extending to the south. If the design feels familiar, it may be because architect William Talman also created the south and east fronts at Chatsworth House in Derbyshire.
All of Blathwayt's remodelling was anchored around the original Great Hall, once the heart of the Tudor house. It is the only major space to survive the rebuilding and sets the tone for what is one of the finest Baroque interiors in the country. William Blathwayt used his connections at various English consulates around Europe and further afield to source materials and furnishings for his grand refurbishment. The lovely wide floorboards in this room are Flemish.
Blathwayt's eye for fine materials didn't stop at the Great Hall. His wider networks shaped the very fabric of the house, including the staircases, which are made from timber shipped all the way from North American colonies. The first staircase Blathwayt built, in the 1690s, was made from Virginian black walnut, a luxury timber prized for its colour and grain. He was very much involved with every design decision and annotated one design sketch for the staircase with his concern that this will harbour dust very much. On the opposite side of the house, the cedar staircase is one of Dyrham's most celebrated features. Carved from cedar wood imported from Carolina, it's a physical reminder of Blathwayt's colonial connections.
One of the most distinctive rooms at Dyrham Park is the Diogenes Room. Known for its Delft flower pyramids, a fashionable 17th century Dutch decorative feature. These tiered ceramic structures were used to display cut flowers, often tulips, which were a luxury item at the time. The Dutch influence continues in the largest of the family rooms at Dyrham Park, the Gilt leather parlour. The wall hangings in this room are embossed leather, painted and gilded with gold leaf, the perfect status symbol and a way to show off global trade connections. Only one of the bookcases here is original to the house, the other having been sold to the Victoria and Albert Museum in 1927 and replaced with a good copy.
Dyrham Park is full of remarkable artworks, but two pieces in particular stand out. The first, View Through the House, is a brilliant piece of optical illusion, painted to trick the eye into believing you're looking through a real open doorway. The second, A View of the Port of Bridgetown, is an exceptionally rare depiction of Bridgetown, Barbados in the late 1600s. Another reminder of Dyrham's colonial history.
Upstairs, visitors can explore the balcony room, a dark-panelled, luxurious reception room with elegant views of the parterre below. The views from here emphasise the Baroque ideal of harmony between house and garden. Just next door is the tapestry bedroom, where newly cleaned and conserved Flemish tapestries hang in a bedchamber created more to impress than to get a good night's sleep. Sadly, during the lifetime of William's grandson, the estate entered a slow decline, with many of the contents sold off. By 1844, Colonel George Blathwaite inherited a house in need of rescue. He took out a substantial £50,000 loan to buy back lost furnishings and undertake major repairs, an essential step in preserving the house we see today. Sadly, the house and garden saw further decline throughout the 20th century, when it was eventually bought in 1956 by the Ministry of Works, and later transferred to the National Trust in 1961.
Dyrham Park's gardens have evolved over centuries. Originally formal and Dutch-inspired, they were one of William Blathwaite's great passions, and today they form a series of distinct spaces with their own character. Close to the house is Fountain Court, a peaceful courtyard garden with wall-trained fruit trees and herbs, a quiet contrast to the wider landscape. Elsewhere, meandering paths lead visitors past manicured lawns, tree-lined avenues, and the pool garden, where twin ponds frame views towards St. Peter's Church. It's a varied and inviting landscape, with benches to pause a while and enjoy the peace and quiet. For us, the standout area is the West Garden. Recreated from 17th century plans, it represents the original approach to the house and the first view arriving guests would have seen. Long rectangular borders are planted with careful precision, full of colour and texture, while rare cider apple trees are being trained along purpose-built iron frames, a thoughtful nod to Dyrham's early design.
And that brings us to the end of our tour of Dyrham Park. If you'd like to visit this wonderful property yourself, here are a few tips to help you make the most of your visit. The walk to and from the house is steep, but there is a shuttle bus provided if mobility is limited. On most days, there are tours of the garden showcasing the seasonal highlights. Look out for the notice board in the courtyard on arrival. If you're a fan of tulips, be sure to visit in spring during the Tulip Mania Festival, which features a display of over 15,000 tulips. Check the website for details.
If you have some extra time and would like to explore other National Trust places nearby, here are a few great options. Tyntesfield, a richly decorated Victorian Gothic Revival house filled with original collections and surrounded by beautifully designed gardens. Lacock Abbey, a former medieval nunnery transformed into a quirky country house, celebrated as the birthplace of photography and famously used for scenes in the Harry Potter films. Prior Park, an elegant 18th century landscape garden featuring sweeping valley views and one of only 4 Palladian bridges in the world. We have full video tours of both Tyntesfield and Lacock Abbey available on our channel. You can find links in the description below.
And that concludes our tour of Dyrham Park. We hope this video has inspired you to discover more about this remarkable place. Here's why we think it's well worth a visit in person. Dyrham Park is a place of beauty, ambition, and extraordinary craftsmanship. But it's also a house shaped by global histories that can't be ignored. It's impossible to overlook the colonial networks that supported Blathwaite's career. Acknowledging that context helps us understand how the estate was funded and why it developed as it did. As you look back at the house, what stays with you is the full picture. The architectural ambition, the Dutch influences, the extraordinary gardens, and the historical forces that shaped Dyrham into the estate we see today. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, we'd love you to like, comment and subscribe, and join us again for the next stop on our National Trust Grand Tour.